Scrabble meets charades chaos. Last Saturday, I had a bunch of friends over for our usual board game night. It's a tradition that started because we're all too old for clubbing but too young to just sit and watch TV on weekends. We kicked things off with a round of Scrabble, a classic choice that usually gets competitive fast. However, my friend Dave proposed we spice things up by combining it with charades. At first, we laughed it off, assuming Dave was joking. He was known for his wacky ideas, like that time he tried to make a soup out of nothing but ketchup packets and hot water. But Dave insisted, saying it would bring out the true essence of words. Intrigued, we reluctantly agreed to give it a try. The rules were simple: you had to spell out a word in Scrabble and then act it out in charades. It started off innocently enough with words like cat and run, but soon escalated to onomatopoeia and quizzaciously, which, by the way, is not a real word, but Dave argued it sounded cool. The room was filled with laughter and confusion as people flailed their arms and made elaborate gestures trying to convey the meaning of words they themselves couldn't define. I think we all learned that night that there's nothing more entertaining than watching a grown man attempt to mime anti-disestablishmentarianism while knocking over a lamp. Things took a turn towards the truly absurd when my other friend, Sarah, laid down the word pterodactyl. Now, Sarah is known for her over-the-top performances, and she didn't disappoint. She flapped her arms wildly, screeching like an over-caffeinated banshee, all while standing on the coffee table. We were in stitches, except for Dave, who looked contemplative. Apparently, he was still trying to figure out how to use quizzaciously in a sentence. Meanwhile, Sarah's performance was so intense that the dogs started barking and the neighbors knocked on the door, presumably to see if someone was being murdered next door. By the end of the night, we were all exhausted from laughing, and the game had devolved into a free-for-all of nonsense words and chaotic pantomimes. As everyone was getting ready to leave, Dave, still stuck on his earlier word, turned to us and said, "I guess you could say this game night was quite the quizzical charade." There was a moment of silence before we all burst into laughter again, realizing that despite the chaos, Dave had finally succeeded in using his made-up word, albeit as the punchline to a ridiculous night we wouldn't soon forget.